results could be downloaded and passed to the organizers, to the Kangurs LV, Kangu organizers in Latvia, and they successfully finalized the results, made ratings, and issued e-diplomas for participants because of social distancing. Next slide, please. Few examples. This is the example of the students list for second class for particular school. We have school coding. We have individual pass student. So this is the entrance code to save his as I told, we entered before, of course, all the exercises in 3 languages, so they look same in task is same for everyone. And it chooses with radio buttons. Sorry, I didn't save the screenshot here, but there are just radio buttons, and the button answer the question. Go to the next slide. Yeah. So in here, this is our inside view of the results. So we can see here maximum points can be earned, limited time what we are established, a number of tries, usually it's 1, but our system can give more tries. It's up to customer, up to partner. We can see people started, people didn't not start, because of some reasons, and we can scan them. Probably there are some technical issues. We can contact them if required. And of course, we can see point and time. Time is more special, is more important, but points here are not correct. Why? It's been in the second slide, the next slide. Points. We didn't receive from the partner from Kangurs LV correct answers. We had to pass only results, only information about which answer being chosen from particular participant, right? So we can see here result table. For example, second line, Anastasia, it's more for comprehension, could be code here. From 10 class, from school number 1, and he answered for each task choose exact answer, B, C, E, whatever. And only this information is passed to the Kangu. We don't know which one answer is correct, but we can do this. We can know already. But I know that it's really important for the statistics to know what is the behavior of the students during the solving these tasks. So this result being converted by our colleagues from Kangu, and they made all the graduation and all the procedure. So of course, all this data needs a lot of organization. We see here in the bottom classes and languages by lists in the spreadsheet, and as long as the highest number of participants as especially could be organized this list. So we prefer CSV format. It could be converted to XLS and so on. Next slide, please. So we're coming to the end. What about conclusions? We have coded participant list. So we are preferring GDPR or regulations. We have individual test work conditions, so we can regulate start date, start time for each class, for each school, even in each language. So usually they're common for everybody, of course. And we have individual links for each school, for each class, each language. So we can control any of them, any group. And we have a result export for analysis with all the chosen variants from the contest, from the examination. And if this solution could be useful for other colleagues, please feel free to contact me. As I told you, you can try, sorry, there is no link. Yeah. You can try Yaklas platform as yaklas.lt. like for India. This is the English version of Portal now, because we're localizing for each country. And feel free to contact me or ask questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your interesting presentation, Andries. Are there any questions in situ or online? So no questions in situ, maybe. Oh yes, there's one question from Gregory.
Just have you done any technical approaches in checking the authenticity of the participant? I mean, the security. I mean, that the student is really the one who is behind the test, or you leave this to the teacher?
Yeah, we trust the teacher, same as it been done in offline mode. It's hard question. It's hard to organize. Our IT guys are working on it, but we tried to organize examination in Latvia. For now, it costs really high. The costs are really high for the secure identification.
So we have another question from here.
Thank you. How could you manage cheating? Could you explain us, please?
Yeah, as I told, it's still on the teacher side, who is collecting this participant list. So if we speak about our platform, how we use our content, and probably it will be used for Can-Do in future, we're creating variations of each task with the saving difficulty level. Usually we use approximately 50 generations for each task, for 50 different conditions, for example, different numbers for summing or multiplying. So, but any other things about cheating are staying on teacher side as it been before lockdown.
There are two more questions.
Yes, hi, this is Sultan from Saudi Arabia. I really like the idea of saving all the information of the students. It's give the insight of the data of the, like how the performance of the students. But I believe it will be much easier for us if you add some tools, visualization tools to the results. So it will be easy to diagnose where are the common mistakes that our students are making.
Yeah, it's not so hard, to be honest. Yeah, if our partnership will continue and oh yeah, we don't need even we don't need to know correct result. For the visualization, we usually use Tableau instrument, if you know about this, or we can use regular diagrams and so on.
Did you also have a question? Yes.
One more question. Could your platform be used to provide drills for the students and like for practicing, let's say, by themselves?
Yes, this is the regular thing what we are doing. Feel free to visit yaklas.in.
Maybe we can share. Maybe we can share the link.
I can write in chat, right?
Yes, perfect. And we can share the link afterwards with everyone.
I write yaklas.in because it's the English version of Portal, which is now working in India, and it's exactly for drilling. And each participant, each schooler can drill himself. Sorry, can practice. Yes, and the highest level of service what we're providing, its teacher could give the test to their students and receive results. In Latvia, very popular service is transferring results to the account to put the mark and so on, and control the way of the education.
All right. Andreas, thank you very much for your interesting presentation. We will now make a trip from Latvia to Iran. Normally, I think Yaya is already online. Yaya, you can open your mic. All right, perfect. And you can start your presentation about Kangaroo in post-pandemic.
Good morning, everyone. My pleasure being in this session and seeing some colleagues online. And now this is time for to be in post-pandemic and think about how it will reflect on Kangaroo. I just am following the experience that we got in Iran and maybe same as Latvia and maybe many other places we have had this kind of online systems in the pandemic period. So we should think about it, how it will go after that. Please go to next slide. Yeah. All the research, we know all about the situation, what happened in the pandemic. Most of it, all the schools closed around the globe, and still maybe some of them are not, the students are still online and not face-to-face classes, have not started all over the world. But still, the experience about this period of more than 1 year to be online systems brought some such results that this kind of online systems, online learning, this online education should bring some more benefits, some kind of benefits, and some kind of efficiency it is bringing. So research shows that it will remain. Such a result that had come through this situation is so important that we can keep it in also in the post-pandemic situation. Next slide, please. Okay, and another most important thing that happened in this during this pandemic, it brought acceleration to the technological development. You know, a lot of things about this artificial intelligence and data science and things like this happen to be accelerated, and much more technologies now are available, and we are going to have access to much more this kind of technologies that can be adopted in the way that education and maybe contests can happen in such a way. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and kind of analytics and data science that we can have. And somehow a smart personal learning are on the way, and so we can think about it, how it will be affected on the contests also, such as Kangaroo. Next slide, please. Yeah, we can see the contests in pandemic, even Kangaroo, IMO, and IOI, International Olympiad in Informatics. All the events go through to be online. It all happened to be online. I have two pictures here. One is from IOI. I don't know if I could share my screen. Maybe you can have better pictures, but now you can see this IOI online in one country. The other picture is about Kangaroo online. The kids from the home in Iran, they are, yeah, now it's much better. Now the kids in Iran, this is IOI session and contest from IOI, and in the other way, these kids from the home are answering the Kangaroo questions. As you know, in IMO and in IOI, there are a limited number of students in each country, and a lot of procedures designed to follow up and to keep how they can control the security of the contest. Next slide, please. So in this online contest, security appears an important issue, And as I said, in IOI and in IMO, some sort of procedures designed to control the system and be sure that everything the contest is going in a very fair way, and everything is under control. They had their own procedures and how they made it to control everything. But about in Kangaroo, I think we think that the situation is a little bit different. Since we are not considering Kangaroo as a contest, same as IMO or IOI. So I mean that mostly Kangaroo is because of joy of problem solving and bring the inspiration and motivation for the students to learn about mathematics. So uh, uh, we are not so much in the issue of the security is not could not be an issue in the kangaroo system. Mostly we are going to develop creativity and growth mindset for the students, and all the objective in kangaroo is develop knowledge, skills, and attitude toward the problem solving and bring a metacognition about everything about this kind of problem solving. So in the case of Kangaroo, an online system is much more online system is much more effective and can bring more opportunity for the kids around the countries around the globe to participate in the kangaroo contest more easily, and can bring much more opportunity for have mini league of mini kangaroos in local in as a local activities, and bring a more opportunity for students to learn and to play with the problems and go through the problem solving and be interested and finally participate in the kangaroo. This is a problem, an issue, and this is an idea on the table that how we can develop an online system that can bring out the contest online, and also we can have much more controls. Next slide, please. Yeah. So we are no go back. Yeah, pick this one. Yeah. So we need a kangaroo online system to organize a contest. And as my colleagues from Latvia discussed, yeah, we need what are needed is a back office that we can design and upload the questions, problems, and we should have certain control systems about this about our system, that how we can control everything in the problem sets and etc. Also supporting system for registration and subscription if for payments for by the students are needed in this platform as online platform in a back office. And for the students, they are in need of a problem solving platform, that how they can go and work on problems. And of course, when we have everything uh, on servers, we can gather all kind of data, and reporting and analytics could be very much easily, and it could be we have a lot of different kind of reportings and analytics about it. So these are the things that the pandemic brought for us, that as a must that we should go be online in Kangaroo, and now we can keep it and going forward. Go next. I can now explain the experience that we had in Iran about developing a system and how it is working, of course. Next slide, please. Yeah, next one. Yeah, this is the Iran Kangaroo experience, and much more are. Yeah, we have the platform is designed in such a way that we can upload all the problem sets with the pictures and all the figures of what is needed. Next slide, please. Yeah, we can upload all the problem sets, And so this is the and there are much more possibilities here that we can organize if the students come just for a practice in the problem solving. We can show them the answer is correct or is not correct. Of course, we can close it or we can control it. They can have access to see when they answer the question. They can see, they can check that the answer is correct or not correct. And of course, we can close it and not showing them the results, and we can gather on the server, and later on we can evaluate them and give them the marks and etc. Next slide, please. There are also in the possibilities that can show the if the answers is correct or the as I said, we can close it and do not show them what is the result. But whenever they are in practice sessions, they can always check the answers and be sure about what is happening there. And next slide, please. And of course, when you have such a system, we can have any kind of controls that we wanted, we can design. Now we have designed that they can control that no more one answers, they can go through it. They can just have one answer about any question. And we can design and adopt any kind of this kind of controls that is needed for such a contest. And I go to the last slide for conclusion. Please go to the next slide. Yeah. And as I said, I think this pandemic, in post-pandemic, we learn about the duration of the pandemic, that this kind of online systems is very important, that they can remain to use them and follow up. And in the Kangaroo, we are in need of such a system to be more sophisticated. And whenever we have such a system and we gather much more data, we can have much more analytics. We can apply these machine learning algorithms and have better smart systems about the problem sets, about the students, participants, and also we make the recommendation system. We can have a decision making and recommendation systems in various ways that can be very helpful for us. So I stop here, and we have this experience in Iran, and we will be more than happy to share our experiences about the system that we have developed with other colleagues around all the Kangaroo colleagues. Okay, I stop here, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Thank you very much, Yaya, for your presentation. Are there any questions in situ or online? Also, online participants, if you raise your hand, we can give you the word and you can ask Yaya a question if you'd like. No hands in situ. I don't see any hands online. That means you did a great job, Yaya, if there aren't any questions.
Yeah, I will be I will be available by emails also if there will be any inquiry, any questions about the system that we are using. I will be more than happy to provide more information.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Then we will make our next trip from Iran back to Belgium, because one of the in situ participants will speak. I will give now the word to Gregor from Cyprus.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, online colleagues. I chose to present this to you because it's something new. We made the first presentation actually last Saturday in the European STEAM conference. We are working on about 10 different projects on STEM, STEAM education. STEAM, the last E, if you are wondering what it is for entrepreneurship, which is nowadays among the top priorities for education, school education by the European Commission. What I'm going to show you, I have 50 slides, but I will go fast in some of them, but you will have the opportunity to access them, and of course the video again. This is a project that ends at the end of this year, but we already started parallel projects, especially the STEAM Goes Hybrid, as we call it, to be able to give solutions. We all know from literature that STEAM inquiry-based, project-based activity contributes to the development of analytical competences and skills of students, and this is what the industry needs and what the innovation industry and creativity industry needs in order to have future citizens who are able to do that. I should say this, what Einstein said, that imagination is more important than knowledge, and he explains the reason. And this is what we're doing. We're trying to use imagination to create the future, but we have one problem. What is the problem? That whatever we create for the future, we create it with today's technologies. We don't know what are the technologies in 20 years from now. If in the 90s I say to you that I can use my mobile and talk to my wife and watch her at the same time, some people will say that's comic. But it's happening today and it's part of our life. So many things will change in 20 years, but we try to imagine with today. But in order to build the future, we need to understand and consider the past. I show you two pictures of 100 years difference of classrooms. What is the difference? Okay, we have some color and some screens nowadays. We could see faces 100 years ago in photos. Nowadays, we have GDPR. But more or less, in 100 years, we haven't changed much. We still have the classroom style and the so-called student center, but not real student center. Of course, in the 50s, if you wanted to have air conditioning, you can have a classroom like this in the open sky. But of course, nowadays, we have better air conditioning. In my country, there will be a new legislation that there will be air conditioning in the classrooms very soon, because the heat is affordable sometimes for the kids. And there was a very much dispute. For some of you, maybe you understand the portable blackboards, that you are able to move your classroom in the library, etc. That was the portability in the 60s, but of course nowadays portability is much more than that. As part of our project, we investigated what is going on in the world. We found schools in the United States that have no classrooms at all. We found schools in Netherlands which were piloted with some open space activity to do projects, and then after they were successful, we asked the creators, what do you do now? They said, well, now we turn down walls in public schools in order to make more open spaces. So Education 1.0 is what we had the last 100 years, up to 1990 more or less. In the 90s, we had the internet coming in and technology, and we all moved into Education 2.0. I have some characteristics, but you can read them. This is mainly exam-based procedure. We give knowledge, we test the kids, most of them memorize, they do well in tests, and after a few weeks, they forget everything, and they are left with nothing, no competences, no skills. So more or less, this is what is happening in most countries. And of course, we bring technology, but there is a total confusion. What is useful, what is not useful? One teacher is using different software, etc. It becomes obsolete by the time you train the teachers. And by the time they apply, it becomes obsolete. So what is important? We cannot train people anymore. We don't have time for that. Technology is moving faster. Kids are ready and we are not ready. So what do we need to do? We need to train teachers to become adaptable to change, adaptable to new technologies. So education 3.0 is what some countries are trying to move in, but what is more important is that we're not going to call teachers anymore. They're becoming facilitators of learning. They're becoming co-creators. The word co-creator is used in Erasmus Plus 21-27 by the European Commission. So this is changing, and we will see rooms like this in the near future, open space. And education 4.0 is what we really applying the so-called flipped classroom method, but inside the school and between schools and between school and the environment. We have one project now is to create the so-called bring your own device. That means we don't need even laptops anymore. These smartphones, they have the kids, the 5 smartphones with them, and they can do everything, they can learn everything through the smartphone. No laptops anymore are needed, if we realize it, or whatever. So in 2.0, we have, and we call lesson plans. We don't call lesson plans anymore. We move into learning plans, and now we're learning and creativity plans. In the website of the STIME, we gave you bookmarks outside, and you can use the QR code and you will find many examples of learning and creativity plans with a minimum of 2 teachers, cooperation, and a model how 2 teachers can work. Because one of the problems was the teachers, a mathematician says, I cannot do project in mathematics and biology because I don't know biology. The biology says I don't know mathematics. How can I work? How can I create projects? So it's a problem. So the teachers need help. If we want the kids, if we want the students to start doing projects, if we want the education system to change. We're talking about the paradigm shift here from 2.0 to 4.0. So we received money from the European Commission to investigate what is going on in the world, then to design material that solves the problem for the teachers for projects. So we give them examples, we give them prototypes, and we help them to create. We develop also a training course, a webinar, it's on the website, and then say, design a future school for us. Imagination. Okay, so I'm going to show you some pictures of the future school in a short video of a few seconds. Okay, skipping this. Okay, this is the first design of the future school. It's a set, how much we're doing with time? Okay, hexagons, and we're following the swarm cells because we maximize areas and we make connectivity. What you see there is a field on the roof. Even the roof is photovoltaics support. That means 100% energy support. This is a 3-floor. We will see the floors inside. This is the entrance, inside, amphitheater outside. At the end, we see, we have a light, yeah. We see the sports center. In the morning, it's open to the students. Then this closes. And in the afternoon, evening, it opens to the public and to the parents. So this is fully supported by the community, the morning for the students and the evening for the parents. You will see some inside things here. Now, this is another perspective, another angle, etc. On the roof, there is a cafeteria. There is, you can have a train here moving all the time to move the kids, because this is 50 meters. This is a huge school. This is 650 meters round. Don't ask me how much something like this will cost. It doesn't matter at the moment. We are not paying for it. This is what you find in the basement. In the basement, you find the main laboratories and some additional VR rooms, learning stations, etc. What is a learning station? I will explain in a moment. On the ground floor, you find satellite labs, smaller labs, where students, as they work, they don't have to go to the main lab. They can go to these satellite labs and get equipment or materials they need. And of course, individual learning stations or group learning rooms, etc. In the specs, in the first floor, you find it's the so-called quiet floor, for the ideas floor. There would be an inside train moving slow with tables and chairs where students can be on these moving things. The colors of this school would be changing every day. The colors of the school in the walls would be changing every day. There are many ways to do it. with lights or with panels that turn and you play with color. So every day the kids come to school, they see a different color. In the roof, of course, you can have even a running field, a football court, everything on the roof. And this is some more analytic designs for the laboratory, the ground floor, etc. The VR rooms here, the athletic center, and the big amphitheater. This is the ground floor with the outside yard and the satellite laboratories and exhibition center, etc. This is STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, and entrepreneurship. So you should be able to support everything. The first floor has this moving train, but let's see more pictures, real pictures. All right, here is the space in the basement, a big space here. You can see the laboratories, entrances. You can see the VR rooms there inside. The ground floor, the learning station. Why learning stations? Imagine a group of students working on a project supported by the teachers, and the teacher realizes that the students don't know the Pythagorean theorem, and they need to learn Pythagorean theorem. What are they going to do? They're not going to go to a classroom to teach that. They will send them to these learning stations where there will be videos for learning the material made by the teachers in 3 different speeds. You can learn the Pythagorean in 15 minutes, in 30 minutes, in 40 minutes. You can repeat if you like. Or you can send them to a learning room, the small group together to a learning room where they will watch together the video and discuss and learn with the support of the teacher. This is the learning room. So you can have groups here working in the learning room. More spaces. First floor. This is the train, one wagon of the train, another side moving on a magnetic field, so it's noiseless. And this is another more quiet wagon where students can be inside working. This is going to be moving in 3 kilometers per hour, so anyone can jump in and out without a problem. Learning rooms from the outside. Of course, there will be amphitheaters, but the amphitheaters will be used for lectures, but also for the students to communicate their learning. We need to develop communications in learning. This is another photo, and can we play the short video, please? Sound? Thank you. A few more slides. Here I have the 3 steps, how education system moves from education 2.0 to 4.0 into STEM. It's not easy, but quickly, step 1, we have to convert all the learning into digital. Not saying that we're going to replace the teachers. The teachers are going to develop it, and it's a challenge for the teachers to produce videos of 3 different speeds. Train teachers how to cooperate between different disciplines. Get the critical mass ready. We just applied in September for a new project, the STEM Teacher Academy, a new program of Erasmus+. If it's applied, then we will create STEM academies and have a veteran throughout Europe. And the step 3, when you have your teachers ready, then you talk about creating big spaces to run this. So in Euromath and Euroscience 2022 in Thessaloniki next March, we will have many STEAM workshops for students and for teachers. If you're interested, we have a video, but we're not going to show it now, we don't have time. There are some competitions, European STEAM communication competitions for teachers. How to communicate STEAM subjects like TEDx, 5 minutes, so it is open. Mathematics journalistic article competition, the role of mathematics in STEM education. This is in cooperation with the Education Committee of the European Mathematical Society. So this is open for students. The European Comic Poster Competition in STEAM 2022. If your students are interested, age 14 to 18. The STEAM Summer Camp next summer in Cyprus. The STEAM Goes Hybrid is a project that just started. All these activities in classroom, in case we have to do it hybrid environment, some students at home say, how do we do it? So we're going to develop a blueprint and policy recommendations. 2 projects just starting now, now in the entry Empowering School Transition Readiness and the Empower Hybrid Competences on On-Life Adaptable, or STEAM related. The Bring Your Own Device starting in January, learning at any time, at any place, via any device. The TTF, Teach the Future, a new project to start in January, just approved. They facilitate artificial intelligence, how to teach artificial intelligence in secondary schools. We're waiting for approval. It was submitted in May. I hope it's approved. And the STEAM Academy, the STEAM Teacher Facilitators Academy, submitted in September. We will know in December whether it's approved. It's a big project of 1.5 million. If it's approved, then we will put together all the results of all the projects into a European Teacher Academy. And the next expected, of course, we forgot the students. So we're creating, we just submitted, 3 November was yesterday the deadline, European STEAM School Students Community. We're going to create a community of students and supported by us as mentors to have some kind of a network. And of course, this will complete the puzzle, paradigm shift. And of course, this is a yeast, as we say. We need to make the bread now. Of course, there is one parameter of stakeholders left out, the parents, which also play a role. We will see, maybe we'll have one more project for parents. So these are the partners of the STEAM. There are different partners for the different projects, of course, but I am not the coordinator for the projects, but I wrote most of them, but other colleagues become coordinators and I am the partner. So this is some of the websites and the email. I'll be happy to, we will need you. All these things will have to be network. We need more partners. We need more practitioners. We need more people to pilot. We need more people to join some of the events we are developing. We will be inviting you. We will provide you with some co-funding in some cases. For the STEAM conference, I think I sent you an email. We were able to co-fund with €150 for anyone coming. So we will see. If you're interested, let us know and we will keep you informed, or register your email to the newsletter so you receive information. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gregor. Many interesting challenges ahead. Are there any questions from in situ participants or online participants? The online participants can raise their hands as well. In situ participants also. I can't see any hands. Gregor, thank you very much for your presentation. So now we are going to make our next trip and we will be going to Armenia, where Tatev is ready. Tatev, you can open your mic and then we can start next presentation.
Well, hello everybody. Actually, I do have a question regarding the last recent presentation, but the main one was regarding, can we have the PowerPoint presentation shared with every participant with us or not?
Yes, it's no problem. We will share. Normally, we will share the video, and we also try to share the PowerPoint, so that won't be any problem. No, they will come.
Okay, why I'm asking that, because actually in Armenia we also have launched a hybrid learning hub, so-called project with PBL in incorporated, so it will be very interesting to discuss some questions further. Not taking much time now. So I hope everybody is fine. Hello from Armenia. So let me begin. Today I'm going to talk about analytical dashboard, which was created by IB Educational Foundation. We have posted some information in AKSF newsletter. If I'm not mistaken, in the first number of the newsletter. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about in more details. So please, next slide. As I mentioned, analytical dashboard is created by IB Educational Foundation, and it incorporates data. And I gave some quote from my one of my favorite book, Sherlock Holmes, that it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. So data is very important in nowadays. Next slide. What we are going to talk about in regard of this presentation today, I will talk about what is analytical dashboard, what it is by itself, how it can be used, who can use it, and what we can offer. Next slide, please. We created this dashboard. There was no effort to create a dashboard based on our data that we have gathered throughout these years by Data Motors company and American University of Armenia. Actually, Data Motors is very related to American University of Armenia, since the co-founders are deans of data science faculty. And we decided to kind of experiment. The data in analytical dashboard is encoded and there is no open data, so no one can see, for example, students' name or schools' names. Everything is encoded, and then it can be compared. Now, since we have organized not only Kangaroo, but also other contests like Russian language contests, Armenian language contest. Next slide, please. This dashboard, while incorporating this data, gives us a lot of opportunity to compare and to bring some new researchers' analysis. And first one was done by our partner, Gender Gap Analysis, and some kind of comparisons and also graphics can be seen in the website. I will share the link on the final slide. Please, next slide. How it can be used, actually, as I said, it is very useful dashboard for, especially for scientists and researchers who wants to make some researches based on 15 years data, and these researches will be valid. And also there can be correlated with some other data incorporated. For example, one of our scientists find some correlation between different results of contest participants in relation to the sea levels of their respective regions. Besides that, they were making some research on gender gap. And as a positive output of the dashboard, it will allow us also to compare results between different countries and give some different conclusions, and also use it in some policy making decisions. Next slide, please. We have, as I said, who can use it? We have already some cooperation with the company, which is this company is a researching company, and they made their first research. Unfortunately, it hasn't been published yet, so I can't give present some quotes from the research, but I do promise that when they publish, I will share it with you. It's very interesting research. I have been acquainted with that. So, but because of the others asked me not to publish now some data, I will keep it secret till now. But besides researchers, this data and this dashboard also can be used by government and universities and some regional and international organizations which are doing researches, especially in field of education. And I think that it's very important part of this dashboard because it gives us opportunities to make very valid and data-based decisions. What we offer, please next slide. Actually, this dashboard is not only usable for Armenia, but it also can be used for other countries, from other countries, especially if it will incorporate maybe some other countries' data, encoded data, and it will be useful for researchers. It will be useful for policy making, as I already mentioned, and maybe for governments in incorporation some legislative decisions. Please, next slide. In the barcode, you can find the dashboards link. So if you want to have some, see the dashboard, actually, you can scan now the barcode. And if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Are there any in situ questions or online questions? You can raise your hands. I don't see any questions over here. I think if there will be questions in the near future, they can contact you via mail.
Sure.
All right. No more questions, then we will proceed to our last presentation, and that will be an in situ presentation of Romania. We will talk about the Coach Book project. Bogdan, okay. Bogdan, I will give you the mic so people at home.
I was using my teacher's voice, so I hope I'm.
Not yes.
You know, I think every one of you heard at least once at home. Silence. You are not in class anymore. You are speaking too loud. This is the Coach Book project. It's a project done in Romania by the team that is involved in the Kangaroo, and it consists in two things. It's a digital tool, of course, but the tool is based on a book, on several books, because it's about a digital library. I hope this works.
The green button.
Yeah, and I enjoyed all the presentation. I have to say that because I'm the last one and this is the power position. And I'm happy that we had all sorts of presentations, you know, Dream in the Sky with Gregory, and the data analytics, which is a topic of interest, and it's covered a little bit in our project. The Coach Book is a guide, is a coach, is a tool, and it means training to become smarter and dynamic, and doing that via mathematics. Now, but I think this is my voice. I can't blame it on the mask. And the project consists in an interactive library of coaching books. They will help students reach their maximum potential, but it is also an adaptive learning platform. It also provides analytics, and it's good for the teacher, for the parents, and of course for the students. Every person that has a book can take it as an interactive one, paper-based of course, but he can also via a code provided with each book, and I put there several books because we have each one for any one of you, and inside there is a piece of paper with two codes, one for a demo and one for a free account. And as I said, kids can take the book and answer the question. It's a mathematics book, the first one published. And of course it's in English because we addressed everyone in the kangaroo family and not only. And this book, the first one, consists in a collection of math problems for the middle school, distributed in 8 chapters, table contents, domain of contents. The things are very familiar with any one of us. Yeah, the problems are like that. And they are not only meant for children, they are also meant for parents, because we experienced in Romania a lot of, let's say, not negative, but not so positive reactions towards mathematics. There are a lot of adults that say, oh, mathematics, that's too tough for me. That's nothing for me. I learned it in school. It doesn't have meaning now. Let the kids do it. But it's very important also for the parents to train a little bit their brain. With the book, it comes a digital library and an application. And the digital product tied to the book has 2 components, one for the students and one for teachers or parents if you are not doing that with a class of students. The student can buy and select from the library. In here, he can select the book, enter the book page, select the problems he wants to solve, and proceed with the solving. It also, after giving the answer, the students receive either an encouraging message, if the answer is correct, or a comment of the mistake, and this is very important because with that comment, he can realize where his mistake is. Also, we have hints and correct answers in the final. And of course, definition theorems and things tied to the problems if he has done a mistake that via the distractor we can understand that he doesn't know a theorem or he has a misconception of one thing. There are some good things for him to understand and to try to solve the problem. As you can see, is the answer, the hint, the complete solution, and the theory tied to the problem he solved, or he tried to solve. It is very important for the teachers because all the students, he can form them in a classroom, or in a group, or in a remedial group, or in a performance group, and so on. And with that, after he has login and he's recognized by the system, and you will see that if we will enroll children, he has groups, virtual classes, and he can assign a kid to one group or after a time assign it to another and so on. And he gets analytics and statistics, number of tries, hint used, correct answers, and so on. And of course, there are, in terms of difficulty and in terms of the content used. He has that with the results tab, and the statistics are both numerical ones and also visual ones in order to at a glimpse, to understand the way the kid behaves. So, teacher or the parent can see a student solving time, students given answers, what the student had read, yeah, if he need a hint, the solution, the theory, and so on. And the statistics, progress, and graphics, as I said, data analytics. And within the message center, because he can have a message center, he can receive questions. So we receive questions from the kid. I didn't understand that, or maybe I have a easier solution, or I would try to do that. And there is of course, it's not on in the same time, but as soon as possible, he has a reaction. And we also enjoy, because in time we select kids, and we are doing also qualitative interviews with them in order to understand what drives them, what is interesting for them, what they would expect from us, and so on. So this is the address for the digital library. library, sorry. This is the site of the publishing house, Sigma. Mihaela Zinger will be the one that will answer, and I kindly invite you to take one book, and it has inside, as I said, a little piece of paper with the codes that you can use in order to see what we have done. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Bogdan. Are there any questions from in situ participants or online participants? Yes.
Yes, thank you. I like the idea of classifying the problems in different subjects, but did you classify it also in terms of difficulties or age, grade, or what?
Yes, there are there is a classification tied to age or grade, but since they are in English and we don't do the same topics as always, and in each country there are some differences, the most common cognitive domains was used in order to have that. But of course, you, as a teacher, you can select which problems you are interested in. Yes, it's suitable for all students at this moment, but it's the first book. It's a teaser. After that, we, of course, in the library, we will develop, but this is tied to the, let's say, the success we will have.
Are there any more questions? Yes, I have a question from Tatev. Tatev, you can open your mic.
Yes, I want to ask whether do you have some plans to share it with maybe some other countries? For example, we're also very interested in the think of having something like that in Armenia, maybe with some features of making the same in Armenian language or something like that.
Of course, we are interested in developing. This is one reason why we are doing that in English. But for further details in data analytics and in, of course, databases, because this is what everybody is interested in, you can speak with Mihaela. Okay. Yeah, but we are interested, of course, in developing. And I was very, very interested in your presentation, in the Latvian one. And we in Romania are trying to implement, because the pandemic taught us a lot. We are trying to implement a digital tool in order to self-assess, but also to assess. And as our colleague from Latvia said, the main problem is the security of data. And the other problem that is very, very important for us is cheating, of course, because if you have high-stakes exams, these are very, very important. There are a lot of methods, but with eye movement and the way you behave in front of camera and so on, but they are costly, of course. Thank you for your question, Tatev.
Are there any other questions? No, then I would like to thank all speakers for their interesting contributions. It's nice to see that COVID had some positive things. We didn't take small steps in online kangaroo meetings, but I think we made some giant leaps. I want to thank all in situ participants for attending, but I would very much like to thank the online participants for attending this first meeting. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for questions. And I will say goodbye to our online participants, but I have a few words for our in situ participants. We will have to go, we have to leave the hotel for a few meters to go to our lunch. So we will gather in the lobby of the hotel at 11:50. You can follow the yellow umbrellas. You don't need a jacket or so. It's less than 20 meters to lunch. So we will see you in 20 minutes or so in the lobby of the hotel. Thank you very much.